Peace. This is Watch for Wise Words Media back at y'all for another round. And fight fans, what a disappointing weekend, as we were supposed to get Terrence Crawford's protege making his hometown debut. This is supposed to be a homecoming event for Keyshawn Davis, as he was set to defend his WBO lightweight title. And instead, what ended up happening is he couldn't make the weight, and the fight between he and Dominican Republic's own Edwin De Los Santos ended up getting canceled. That was a major blow, man. Like that was bad, because, and it was bad for one, because here he is, new champion, ready to defend in his hometown. Now, boxing has a funny history. Sometimes when people have that homecoming fight, it doesn't usually, well, not that it doesn't usually, not all the time, but a lot of times, you see that it doesn't play out well. There's these homecomings sometimes get spoiled, but this time it didn't even get spoiled in the ring. It didn't even reach the ring. Keyshawn Davis doesn't make the weight, and not only does he not make the weight, but he didn't make the weight like by 4 pounds. He was 4 pounds over, which all that simply tells you is that the weight was too much. He couldn't make the weight. It wasn't going to happen. I feel like there was a little irresponsibility from the Davis camp. Maybe they should have reached out. I mean, maybe they did, but from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like they reached out, because they were still trying to make the weight, and at the end they didn't do it. So De Los Santos and his team wisely declined taking the fight with the 4 pound advantage. We saw how that played out last year when Devin Haney said, okay, I don't mind about your extra 3 pounds, and we saw how that fight played out. So it was a wise decision by De Los Santos and his team to not take the fight. You're already in a very challenging position, taking on Keyshawn Davis, one of the brightest stars in boxing. But then with a 4 pound advantage, it would have not made any sense for De Los Santos. So Keyshawn Davis is now stripped of his belt. He's no longer the lightweight champion, and it's time now. It's time for Keyshawn to make that move up to the junior welterweight division, start making his campaign run at 140, and this should be a lot easier for him to make the weight, since he was at 139 for this weigh-in. He should be at a lot easier, at a easier advantage now to make the weight at 140. And yeah, this is gonna be one of those things we're gonna see. There's some interesting names at the 140 that he can line up with. One of them being Teofimo Lopez, somebody who he's been trying to get in the ring with for a while. So we'll see what happens there. There's some Alberto Puello, another Dominican fighter, very good, very solid fighter. That would be a great matchup. He's a hard-hitting puncher from the Dominican Republic. So Alberto Puello will be a great fight. You also got Gary Antoine Russell, which with his bulldozing style against Keyshawn Davis, very tactical, methodical, counter-punching, precise punching style, that will make a really good fight. So yeah, it's time to give it up now. It's time to move up to 140. And the 135 pound division, which just a year ago was loaded, is now starting to deplete some. And yeah, we'll see what happens for Keyshawn Davis next. You had Abdullah Mason, who was also on the undercard, ended up becoming the main event fight, and he won his fight this past weekend. He got a stoppage, so he won by TKO in 5 rounds. So yeah, pretty lackluster event in terms of what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a good double feature. Keyshawn Davis making his return to his hometown and putting on a show a showcase, a homecoming showcase, defending his title. And this wasn't going to be just no regular showcase. This was going to be a challenging fight. Because sometimes people take light fights for their showcase. They just, want to put on a good show for the crowd, give them something to cheer about. But no, this homecoming was going to be a very challenging fight. This was going to be against the hard-hitting Edwin De Los Santos. But unfortunately, didn't go down. We'll see what happens next for Keyshawn Davis. But come on, champ. Come on, champ. Get it together. I'm Waz for Waz Words Media. Peace.